Hello, welcome to the Real Talk Show. It is a beautiful Friday, and I welcome you to the Real Talk Show. Just as promised last week, that this week will be coming with another exciting episode of the Real Talk Show. Last week, I mentioned to you that us as the youth platform at the center of our programmings, we have the young people. And today, in the studios, I have three amazing young people that are going to help me to discuss today's topic. And today's topic is just basically understanding the young people and adolescents. We understand that is a stage where young people experience a lot of growth, a lot of challenges, and so this is a stage where just young people just try to navigate life, and as they transition from the stage of adolescence and young adults to the stage of adulthood. And in the studios, I have Moffat, Namakau, and Elvis, which I'll just let them introduce themselves. Please tell us more about yourself. Just say your name and what you do. Please welcome to the show and feel free. Welcome to the show. Moffat, you can start.
All right, thank you very much, Brian. My name is Moffat Shankaya, a peer educator, also a counselor from Prisons Clinic.
Thank you so much, Moffat Shankaya. And I have one lady today on the show who is Namakao. Please, Namakao, you can say hi to our listeners, viewers, and also just say a little bit more about yourself. That is your name and what you do.
Thank you so much, Brian. My name is Namakao Shalala, and I'm a community facilitator.
Thank you so much, Namakao. Elvis, please just say what you do, and let's just the viewers just know you a bit more.
All right, thank you so much, Brian. My name is Elvis, just like he said. I'm a peer educator, a community mobilizer from Champagne Clinic.
Thank you so much. Those are my guests on today's show. Just as I mentioned earlier, we'll be discussing about understanding adolescents and young people. We want to hear from the young people themselves. What challenges do they face? What challenges do they face, and how do they solve these challenges? We also understand that stage where a lot of other people also come in with their views, with their opinions. But today we want to hear from the young people themselves. What is it that affects them, and how do they solve or do they manage to do life amidst those challenges? Today, I'm your host, Mwene Brian, and welcome to today's show. To start with, Moffat, what do you think might lead to some men to feel that rushing into sexual activity at a young age is something they should do? We understand that these are young men, these are young boys, these are just adolescents and young people. But what do you think rushes them into indulging in sexual activities?
All right, thank you very much, Brian. It's not an easy thing nowadays in our community where we are coming from, because if you don't involve yourself into such activities like sex, you'll be considered like maybe you are not functioning. Okay, so young people, they are engaging themselves into sex at a tender age. They want to test themselves whether they are working or not. Okay, so that's what normally causes young people to indulge themselves into sex at the tender age. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Moffat. So again, I would love to ask: do you also think there's that saying which says "be a man"? Do you think that also leads to young people indulging into sexual activities at an early age?
Yeah, Blan, when you hear your fellow young people telling you to say you are not a man, it means that there's certain things that you are not doing correct. Okay, So on those things that they meant, we can mention of having multiple girlfriends and also or boyfriends, and also involving yourself into certain activities like drug and alcohol abuse, and also maybe even some behaviors that suit them to be called men. Okay, so if you are not involved yourself into those things, they consider you like you are just nobody in the community.
I guess also you're right what you're saying to say young men because of the trend. This time we have what is trending. So in short, you're saying that young men, because they're taught to be a man, and when they say be a man, some of the things that they mean is indulging yourself into sexual activities, and that has led our young boys, our young men to indulge in sexual activities, right?
Exactly.
Coming to you, Anna Macau, the only lady on this show, please show me a bit of a smile and just welcome the question that I'm about to ask you as a lady. Girl power, right?
Yes.
Yes. So, Namakao, growing up as a child, as a girl child, today feels like navigating so many things at once. You're talking about social media, trying to figuring it out in life. So, what are some of the biggest pressures that you, as a young lady, as Namakao, has faced during this time, during this your age of being a young person? So, what are some of those challenges that you have faced?
Okay, thank you so much, Brian. I think the biggest challenge that we face as youths is financial challenges, and also comparison. We compare ourselves with a lot of people. I think most young people compare themselves with celebrities. They want to be like celebrities. And honestly, if you're not working, you're not doing anything, and you're not financially stable, how are you going to manage to live that celebrity life? Or you want to copy from your friends or how others are living their lives? So I think this is a main problem, or it's the biggest challenge as youths that we have. we
Oh,
we,
thank you
we
so
want
much.
things.
I love so thank you so much. I love the fact that you've also mentioned the issue of young people facing financial challenges, and one of the contributing factors towards why young people are facing these financial challenges is because they want to compare themselves to a certain type
Yes.
of life. You mentioned about the celebrity life. So do you
Mhm.
often like sit with friends and discuss these issues and how to do life despite having these issues, and just how you try to fit in a society where you have so much expectations and also these comparisons that you mentioned?
Yes, we do. We sit down as friends to talk about them, because if you have certain friends that want that life, honestly speaking, we sit them down, we see like, okay, I also want this, but I'm not doing it because I have a plan, I have a future that I'm fighting for. So if I indulge myself in this kind of activities, I won't go anywhere. Looking at the time at this time, we have a lot of diseases, infections that are around us. So if I want to live a life that my friend is living, I don't know where they're getting the money from, and I want to get I want that thing that my friend has. Okay, I want for example, I want an iPhone, maybe an iPhone 15, and I don't have the money. What am I going to do, Brian? I'll end up finding a sugar daddy, maybe bless her, to bless me with that
Yes,
with
yes.
a phone. But at the end of it all, what will happen? I'll have infections, I'll have HIV, I'll have unwanted pregnancies. So I think we as the youth, we need to sit down and encourage each other on what we want and how to live our lives.
Thank you so much, Namakao. You also mentioned about indulging yourself in these relationships that you mentioned about having sugar daddies, blessers. So I would love to hear from you. What is your take? What is your take on these different types of relationship? I understand young people have different kinds of relationships, such as the blessers type of relationship, the intergenerational types of relationships, the transactional relationships, where you offer your body for an exchange of money. So what is your perception on these types of relationship? What advice would you give to a person who is, to a young person who is trying to indulge in these types of relationships, Namakao?
Okay. I think the kind of advice that I would give them is, first of all, I would ask a question. Are you safe? Are you keeping yourself safe? What are you using for protection? In as much as you are protecting yourself, we have a lot of infections, diseases. Yes, quite all right. You want that sugar daddy to be paying for you, to be doing a lot of things for you. But are you safe? We have infections, we have HIV nowadays. So how are you keeping safe? How are you doing it? But the best advice I would tell my fellow youths out there is that I think it's better to just find a job, find something else to do other than depending on those blessers, sugar daddies. Yes, times are hard. Sometimes you need something you don't have. You might say, "Ah, I think there's that man that called me, there's that man that texted me. He wants to see me. Let me just do it." But no, again, you think about it. Oh no, I think this is not a good way for me. This is a wrong way. Let me just do something else. Let me just do something different. Moreover, as youth, you can start businesses. We have a lot of things that we can do as youth. You start a business, you start work. Yes, work is hard nowadays, but we have these small businesses that we can start.
Thank you so much, Namakao. I know it's not only about, yes, Moffat have something to say. Yes, Moffat, you can come in, please.
All right, thank you very much, Namakau, for that insight. Now I have a question for you, Namakau. Okay, how has been
Okay.
the response, from the peers, your fellow peers, okay, that you are encouraging on how they should live with their life? How has been the response so far?
Okay, I would say it's 50-50 because others will say, no, you don't know where we're coming from, we're passing through a lot. And others will say, oh, okay, I think I can do this, I can keep myself safe. Uh, Others are keeping themselves safe, and others are like, no, you don't know where we're coming from. We're coming from a poor background, and that's the only way, that's the only thing that we can manage to survive. We want to survive. So we're also doing it for survival. So I would say it's a 50-50 thing.
You mean when you try to educate them on these other
Educate
issues to
them.
do with, yeah, like the transactional sex and also the
Oh, yeah.
intergenerational relationships, they will also come in with their ideas to say we do not have the funds to finance ourselves, so we need somebody else who come in and help us, right? And I guess
Yes.
it's not only the part of girls being having sugar daddies. These days there are also sugar mommy, and I'd also love Elvis to give his say on these sugar mummies and what advice he has to our dear listeners, to our dear viewers, and also everybody who's like indulging or that are in these types of relationships. Yes, Elvis.
All right. Thank you so much for the opportunity, Brian. Wonderful discussion. Okay. So, speaking about sugar mummies, they're very much available these days. Trust me, they're on the market. Yeah. So, I'm even wondering myself why I'm not yet into such. Imagine a woman offering you money just for sex.
Hey.
So, you first look at the objective of why that woman is looking for that thing. We've heard that others are making money out of it. They're making money out of it through us young men. So you find that you have sex with them, then there's some kind of spiritual connection you're going to make, then they're going to steal your future, something like that. Then you also look at the physical aspect of that activity. You indulge yourself into
Yes.
intergenerational sex with older women, then you're definitely going to get STIs there. As a young man, definitely it's not a good idea to indulge yourself into such activities, in as much as they are readily available, guys. I was even told by a friend, Here's the phone number, just one phone call, then you get to be
But you
getting
are
paid.
great.
Imagine, yeah, per session. Imagine per session, you get paid. Hey, you look at your values, your personal values as a person. Huh? You look at where you're coming
Yes.
from. Yeah, so sometimes just needs discipline, and or you have the right information, then you can't indulge yourself into such. Otherwise, it's a no.
I love the fact that you mentioned about deciding whether to engage yourself in these activities. Many of the times when young people are said to have to be the ones that make these bad decisions. So Elvis, I'd love to know, to hear from you. Is there a time when you made a good decision that you were proud of? And if so, what determines a decisions to be a good or bad decisions according to you, Elvis?
All right, thank you so much, Brian. So, besides the sugar mummies, of course, besides that,
Yes, yes.
besides the sugar mummies, there are
Mhm.
several circumstances where I was required to make a decision. When I was a
Yes.
when I was a when I was just like a small boy those days. I'm still a boy though. When I was like a small boy, my friends were going for mukanda. My friends were going for mukanda there for male circumcision. Then I didn't find interest into male circumcision. The Tonga tradition doesn't focus on male circumcision. It says it's a disrespect somehow. Our tradition doesn't allow. So even from my family, they used to tell me that I can't go for male circumcision because it goes against our traditions. Then
Oh.
when I got to grow up just a bit, I realized that medical male circumcision was the best decision. After getting some information through peer educators, research, such things, I got to know that then I have to do the circumcision. That's when I did that. We are protected. Here we are. No STIs. Very much healthy.
Yes. Thank you so much, Elvis, for that experience. Indeed, it was such a tough decision looking at that at a point where you were being influenced by your fellow young people, and understand peer pressure is not something which we can joke around with. It's something which is serious. And talking about it, I would also love to hear from Namakau. Namakau, is there a time that you've been a victim of peer pressure, and how did you manage to come out of that situation?
Okay. Thank you so much, Brian. I think I remember when I was in school, when I was in secondary school, I used to play a lot with my friends. I think that was peer
Yes.
pressure because we never used to pay attention in class. Instead of paying attention, we used to play too much. And when we reach grade 12, now you have an exam to write. That's when I realized, okay, now you're on your own. So I would advise if I was if we I would advise a younger me right now, like okay, if you have a lot of friends, please avoid them and concentrate on school because they're going to write that exam alone. You'll be alone in that exam room. She'll be seated somewhere else. Your friends will be seated somewhere else. You'll be alone. So I think that was one of I think the time when I followed my friends instead of paying attention in class.
Can I
Thank you so
just
much. Yes, yes,
I
Elvis.
think always has something to say.
Yeah, I have a question for you, Namakao.
Yes.
These days in our societies, there are things about sexuality. Young girls trying to influence each other. The
Mhm.
sex with a condom is not nice. Such misconceptions. Having sex with sugar daddies, you'll be at least getting a source of income. Have you ever had such an encounter? And if yes, how did you react and how did you make a decision?
Okay. No, I don't think I have ever had an encounter with that. No.
Mhm.
But if I had an
Namakau is
encounter,
saying
I
she's
would.
never had. You would have shared definitely, right? I think
Yes, I would have.
Moffat, I would also love to, yes, Moffat, I would also love to hear from you on the issues of condom. Young men, most of these young men, they are told if you want to be a man, you have to like have sex without a condom, and this has been taken as something which is cool. and accepted by young men. What do you think is the challenge, or what do you think young men are avoiding using these condoms during sex? Because this is protection, but young men are saying are doing away with condoms right now. What could be the problem, Mr.
All right.
Moffat?
Thank you very much, Brian. History. I was once a victim of the same because
Yes, yes.
before I have this information that I have at the moment, I believed in that as well, to say, how can I have sex with a plastic to my private part? How? It didn't make any sense for me until when I was, faced with, outcome of having unprotected sex. That's when I realized to say, oh, unprotected sex is very protected sex is very important than unprotected sex. So what is there in the community, Brian, is that among the young people, they do believe that having protected sex is just same as doing masturbation, like kind of thing. So they want what they call skin to skin. Okay, when I say skin to skin, that's where you have unprotected sex, where you don't involve anything to prevent you from STIs and yes, pregnancy or unwanted pregnancies. So I was, caught with STIs, caught syphilis. So it was very hard for me to even disclose to my parents to say I have this problem, because I felt like I'll be imbalanced and other stuff. But how did I manage to come out in such a situation, Brian? It was
Yes.
terrible. I would like to share the situation.
Kindly share with us.
So what happened was that I have a friend whom I trusted very much. So I shared the information to say, boy, I have a problem. Okay. Whenever I want to urinate, I feel pain. Then he suspected, he has an idea to say this is an STI. That's how he escorted me to the clinic. I went there, I was injected. Injections for STIs, they are very painful. So from there, Brian, I learned a lesson to say we can enjoy sex, but we need to be responsible for what we are doing, because having unprotected sex comes with a cost. Okay, so I shared with my friends, then my friends helped me out. From that time, Brian, I'm an advocate of having protected sex.
I guess we all learn from our mistakes, and it's a good thing you learned from your mistake of not having a protected sex. You had the STIs, the syphilis. Thank you so much. You're generous enough to share with us that story, and it's good to learn. And I guess my viewers out there will also learn to say using condoms while having sex is a way to go. I think I would also love to hear from a female perspective. Namakao, here is the man who wants to have sexual relations with you without a condom. What advice would you give him?
Okay, so for the first thing is I don't know his HIV status. I don't know if he has STIs or he doesn't have STIs. I advise him that okay, no. So as a female, if you've started having sex, I think it's important to always have condoms with you all the time. Even in your
Male
purse,
or
you should
female?
have one. I think both. in case in case of anything.
Mhm.
In case of anything, yes. So you need to have one with you all the time. So even if he says no, I don't have, okay, say, oh, okay, here's one. Give him
Yes.
right there and then. Yes. So I'd advise him to say, no, me, I don't want to be sick. I don't know what you have.
Oh, so here's a condom. Let's use a condom for sex, right?
Yes.
Can I just come in here?
Yes, yes, Elvis.
Okay, so the question about males not using a condom, even females. So let's be realistic here. To be just
Yes,
realistic, sex
Mm-hmm.
without a condom is actually very nice. It's that is sex. Sex was actually meant to be done without a condom. Then you find that these days we have STIs, we have teenage pregnancies that we need to avoid. STIs, guys, are not a good thing. When you are doing it, it's a very nice thing. Trust me, it's
Yeah.
the best feeling ever. But out of that joy comes the punishment. STIs are.
Problem.
So SPIs are going to be there to tell you that a condom is definitely something that you should use. You can't have a girl child at the age of 12 getting pregnant, because these days even young girls are having sex. So you find that other girls are going to say that me, when I'm having sex with a condom, they say that there's friction there, then it starts paining. Then others just say I can't have sex with a condom. So, as you are having such thoughts, remember STIs and teenage pregnancies. Just a friendly advice to the viewers there, the young people especially.
yes. Elvis is saying to you that always when you want to have sex, always use a condom because the consequences are unbearable. They're just too much. We have teenage pregnancy, we have STIs, with HIV, and these other um, consequences that may come. And also, that when you have those consequences, let's say, for example, teenage pregnancy, it means that your future is kind of disturbed. And talking about the future, I would love to hear from Namakau, thinking about what big goals she has for her future. It could be education or career-wise. What are just some of those big goals as an adolescent, as a young person that you have as Namakau?
I think one of my biggest goal is improve my career. I want to be a public health specialist to help out the community. Yes, I think that's
Oh,
one of my biggest goals.
oh, thank you so much. And they say once you identify your goal, it means that you are halfway to achieving it. And I guess there are a lot of challenges that you face. Talking about social media, talking about the way your body is just changing. How do you stay focused to this goal that you set of being a public health specialist? What makes you stay focused? We have peer pressure. We have social media. What makes you on the track? What keeps you there and not outside or off track?
Okay, I think the first thing is you have to remember where you're coming from. I think that's one of the things that help me want to achieve my goals. I remember where I'm coming from. I know where home is. I know what's happening there, and for that, I'm really concentrating on my goal, and I'm content with what I have. So I won't admire what the neighbor has and I want to have it. No, I'm content with what I have and remember where I'm coming from. So I'm focused and determined.
Yeah, thank you so much. I think you mentioned about being content with what you have, so that you don't look elsewhere. You count your blessings, and you also uh, just stay focused and determined to achieving your goals. That is on a lady perspective. I would also love to hear from Moffat. Moffat, what kind of support do you believe is most helpful for young men as they plan their future, as they plan their goals? What support do you think these young men, it could be also women, what support do they need?
Okay, thank you very much, Brian. I think first thing, information is the best support that someone ever has. Because when you have information on a certain thing, you know how to go about it. Okay.
Yes.
So what I've seen is that information is lacking among our young people or among us young people. Be it productive issues, be it sexual related matters, education wise, the information is very low. That's why you find that people they are failing, to young people, they are failing to make their goals come true or their dreams come true. So information is the support that is needed out there.
Thank you so much, Moffat. I believe you're looking at it in a perspective where young people need something which is sustainable, something that will stay with them forever. And information is one of them. You can give them money, but money can finish. But what keeps them going? I think where you mentioned the aspect of giving them the real information on the do's and the don'ts, I think that would be also helpful to the young people. And you mentioned about social media. I would love to hear from Elvis. How does social media influence the way young people view and treat their elders?
All right. Okay, can you please rephrase your question? Please rephrase your question.
Uh, okay, all right, Elvis. I would love to know how social media influences the way young people view and treat their elders. We have older people in society, and we call ourselves the Gen Z, the two pins, where we have social media, we have technology, and it's a plus for us. But how has social media influenced the way we look at these elders in our community and how we treat them?
All right, thank you so much, Brian. So, social media, okay, social media, Facebook, which is the largest social media platform we have in Zambia.
Yes,
So, social
yes.
media has brought in my own opinion, I would say, a negative impact on our attitude towards elders. This is because of the behavior that we adopt from our influencers that we follow on social media, the different contents that they post, everything that they are doing. We tend to follow that and forget our own personal norms that were taught back then when we were still children. So you find that the behaviors of social media personnel, what they do, we tend to follow what they are doing. We adopt to that, thinking that that's fashion for us, especially as young people. Yes, we say that is fashion. We are influenced easily by those top people, celebrities, what they are doing. We feel like in J life manage. Looking at the girl child, when they look at how this female musician is dressed, this Kamini. So you find that they are going to also try to put on that kind of dressing. Aenda Mrodi, the guys are calling her, Mawiso's there, then she's feeling like Tirikuchalo. So I would say it has brought a negative impact.
Just there, I'd also love to know, are there situations where you'd disagree to what the elders have in terms of perception about the young people and also their opinions about the young people? Are there times when you just disagree with what the elder generation or the elder people in our society would say about young people, Elvis?
All right, thank you so much. So I'll look at the traditional aspect. From the traditional aspect, there are several things that I would say we should disagree as young people. For example, those traditional practices that are teaching young girls on how to become actual wives, young people, in as much as the intention is to raise a girl child that is responsible. What is it causing? Look at the societies, the ladies, the girls that go into those initiation ceremonies. Look at what they are becoming immediately after initiation. They're getting married, they're getting pregnant, they want to experiment what they learned. So there are also other instances where I would disagree with an elderly person, in terms of maybe me personally wanting to seek sexual productive health services, even a girl child. You find that the parents are not that much involved into the girl child as she's trying to seek information on sexual productive health and rights. And so I would say there are some circumstances.
Thank you so much, Elvis. I heard you mentioned the issues about those initiation ceremonies and those other situations where you would disagree with the elder generation. Thank you so much. It has been a good conversation with you guys. And to our viewers, I would love to leave you with one question, and that is what is the biggest misconception you think older generations have about young people today? What is the biggest misconception the older generation have about young people today? You can send us your views, your response to the comment section, and we will respond to them as soon as possible. And before we go, I would love each one of you to just tell us one last word, or it could be a word of encouragement to our viewers, or just anything that you'd love to say in conclusion. I'll start with, Girl Power, ladies first. I'll start with Namakao. Any last words to our viewers?
Okay, I think the last question that you asked Elvis, I would like to contribute. Is it okay?
Yes, you can contribute.
Yes. So our parents think social media is all about you're just on social media, watching movies, watching influencers on social media. But actually, what we're doing on social media is we're learning, some are learning a skill, some are we learn a lot of things from social media. It's not all about the bad parts. No, social media also has a good impact on us. So I think our
Thank you so much.
parents, yes, our parents really need
Thank you.
to understand that social media is not just about the bad parts. No, we also do good. There's also good things uh, involved in that because we learn a skill, we learn
All
a
right.
lot of things. Thank you, Brian.
Yes. Thank you so much, Namakao. And Namakao is saying social media is also good because we learn some new skills, and just the Real Talk Show. People are just watching the Real Talk Show. This is an educative forum. Moffat, any last words to our viewers, please?
All right, thank you very much, Brian. It has been a good conversation. And my last remarks will be just the word of encouragement, Brian. We all want good things, okay? Because at this time around, I think sex has taken place everywhere. Sex is everywhere among young people. Okay, so we have to be vigilant of our own lives. We have to be responsible in whatever we do. Okay, so one, we have to look at our health first, and also what is my goal. Okay, so if we consider these two things, I think we'll be a future leaders. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Moffat. I guess to be young is not just to be young, but also to carry the responsibility that has been placed to us. Thank you so much for those last words. And Elvis, under 1 minute, just give the viewers any last words, please.
Right, thank you. So my last words for this conversation, this discussion, it's on judging people. So there are people that can't control themselves in terms of sexual feelings. Those feelings, then you find that they're indulging themselves into different types of activities that are bad for their health, sexual activities. Let's not judge, but give them the right information. And for the young men, don't indulge yourself into intergenerational sex, guys. Yeah, what size you have to Valipo? Our own age is there. Let's work with what we have, not for us. And for the young ladies, go for your own size. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Elvis, and to everyone that joined me on this show. I was your host, Mwene Brian. Catch us live next week at the same time, 14 hours on Friday. This has been today's episode of the Real Talk Show, brought to you by the Youth Platform right here on our official page. Thank you so much. See you next Friday. Bye-bye.